So what's the biggest retirement fear? I'd argue it's running out of money. Period. Full stop. That's it. What if you could just eliminate that fear entirely? Well, that's exactly what I set out to do. Stick with me here. This is going to get interesting. A couple years ago, I got serious about retirement. I was 59 at the time, and I knew I couldn't work at my high-stress corporate job much longer. And I was a little panicked about where I was in retirement, to be honest. I went through a divorce at 50, and that cut my savings in half at the time. I'd also taken a 4-year detour in my 50s to teach public school. And during those 4 years, I saved pretty much nothing. So at 59, I was not sitting pretty, that's for sure. But despite those setbacks, I still had a few $100,000 in my retirement accounts, thank God. But I needed a solid plan that would allow me to retire soon because I was exhausted. I knew what the standard advice was. Plan to withdraw 4% a year. That number hopefully preserves your nest egg. But you know what? I don't like that word hopefully in that sentence. Hopefully it preserves your nest egg. Hopefully it lasts long enough. Hopefully you don't run out. That's the opposite of how I like to plan. I like to stack the deck in my favor. Probably everybody does. I'm just not comfortable with a plan that might work out okay, but also might end with me homeless in my 80s. And on top of that, I wanted money to be available, available for my kids, or just to cover setbacks that are going to show up. And that normal plan, the one with the 4%, it just doesn't work for that. Not unless you can make it fit into that 4%. And here's another thing. That 4%, it's not really all that much money. If you have, say, $500,000 saved for retirement, which, by the way, is more than most people have, that 4% is just $20,000 a year. That's $1,666 a month. I'm not saying that's nothing, but it's also not enough, given the world we all live in now. So to put it simply, spending 4% a year, it just felt like guaranteed anxiety to me. It was a plan that could just collapse at any time. So I stepped back and I asked a different question. I think a better question. What if I didn't need to spend my assets at all? Not optimizing the withdrawal rate, not tweaking percentages, just remove the need to draw from them at all. So I started to figure out how I could build that. And I came up with a plan and I went for it. And I'm not going to lie, it was scary because the first part of the plan, it was to take half of everything I had saved and buy a fixed annuity. Now, if you don't know what that is, I don't blame you. A lot of people don't. I didn't at the time. It's just a deal you make with an insurance company, a big insurance company. You give them a big chunk of money and they send you a guaranteed check. And not a fluctuating, hope I get it this month check. No, a guaranteed, fixed, always comes monthly check. Now, you'll hear people warn against annuities, and I'm sure there are horror stories out there. And yeah, I'm giving up the maximum return I might get in the stock market. But what I do get is I get security, I get peace of mind. And if that costs me a percentage point or two, that's just a trade I'm willing to make. It's not for everyone, but it's for me. The annuity I bought, it only pays for 8 years. It starts at age 62 and it ends at age 70. Now, I did this for 2 reasons. First, an annuity that paid out longer, it would have been a smaller check every month. And second, I plan to take Social Security at age 70. That's the next part of the plan. Wait to take Social Security at 70 to get the max payout. In fact, it'll actually mean a raise for me at 70 because my max Social Security at 70 happens to be more than the annuity is paying out monthly. Now, what about the other half of my retirement money, right? The half I didn't use to buy the annuity. I'm going to get to that, I promise. But first, I want to answer the obvious question. Is that annuity enough to live on until age 70? No, not really. It's not bad though. It's pretty good. It cost me about $230,000 to buy it, and it pays out $3,278 per month, every month for 8 years. But I need more, actually, and I think most people would need more than that, really. So I'm planning to work part-time as a school bus driver. Partly it's for the income, but partly because I just like doing it, and I would need a reason to get up every day once I'm retired. So is that enough? Is the part-time job and the annuity enough? Pretty close, but not quite. For the last piece of the puzzle, you have to know that my wife Dana is younger than me, and she'll be working for another 10 years after I switch to the part-time job. But don't worry, she's one of those rare lucky people that likes her job. So it's not like I'm sticking her with this burden. She would do it anyway. So when you stack all of it, the annuity, the part-time job, Dana's income, it covers our life. It overcovers it, actually. And it's not extravagant, but it's comfortable. Now, back to the second half of my retirement money. What happened to that? This is the beauty. I don't touch it. I invest it. I let it grow. That money isn't there to fund our lifestyle. It's just there for everything else, you know? If the roof goes bad, if a car needs to be replaced, if one of my kids needs help, which they will, or if just anything unexpected shows up. That money, it's not income, it's freedom. Once I had this plan in place, my anxiety, it dropped a lot. It's because I'm removing the will I run out of money worry entirely. I avoid watching my life savings decline every single year. I avoid just hoping I don't outlive my savings. And I have a nest egg that grows forever and can be tapped without guilt or fear as much as I need. And that part feels amazing. Is this plan perfect? Have I eliminated all risk, all worry? No, of course not. But knowing that I have a big chunk of money that can keep growing for decades and it's just sitting there waiting for disasters, that's game changing. And yeah, there's trade-offs with this approach. Sure, the annuity isn't the best return. Working part-time isn't pure retirement. But for me and how I live, it fits. Much better than anything else I could find, really. This plan does require expenses to be under control and a willingness to keep your life, reasonably small. But almost every retirement plan these days requires that, at least for regular people like me. So for me, all these trade-offs, they're worth it because the truth is that 4% rule, it solves a math problem, but it doesn't solve the human one. And I didn't want to spend the next 25 years hoping that math holds up. I wanted something simpler than that. So I built a plan where on a random Tuesday, I'm not thinking about money at all. I'm just living my life. This is Rich Tuesday. If this landed for you, share it with someone who might need it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much.